beginning of November 2019, Mediata opened a clinic in the Himalayas, serving the population of the highest villages in Nepal. The idea first came about 2 years earlier, when I heard about the extremely poor healthcare conditions in this area, and I met Chotan, who was born there. During the following months, it struck me how, despite being raised at two different ends of the world and two different cultures, our life journeys were in a way very similar and brought us together to work towards one aim. Was our undertaking easy? Certainly not. Here are just a few of the obstacles and difficulties that we had to face. Registration of the clinic with the Nepalese government.
Selecting the drugs, because some drugs that we use here might not use in the Western society, so it was challenges. We almost took 1.5 months to select the drugs.
We had to organize the travel permits in order to come and check the site of the clinic, make sure that it is suitable for the purpose.
The road for taking all the drugs from headquarters to the clinic, as there is no road, I have to take all the drugs from here by donkey.
Well, just as I said, these were just a few issues we faced. But despite innumerable challenges, we succeeded and found ourselves on the 31st of October at 5 o'clock in the morning, climbing into the four-wheel drive pickup truck in the center of Kathmandu and heading towards the heart of the Himalayas. I hope you will join me on this incredible adventure. We've been travelling nearly for 12 hours now in our jeep full of medication and equipment for the clinic, and the road has been pretty rough, so it's another hour or so to go, so hopefully we're going to get there tonight. We are waiting at the checkpoint to have our document checked. It's the fourth time since Kathmandu, but so far no problem. At nightfall, we reached Chana, the capital of Manang district, and the end of the road suitable for motorized vehicles. The temperature dropped by 15 degrees from Kathmandu, and the village was dwarfed by massive rock faces on both sides of the valley. We were absolutely exhausted, so we were extremely grateful to be able to climb into our sleeping bags. The following morning at 5 a.m. we set off again, but this time on foot, into the Nepal Valley. This is the first day of our trek to Nar, which lies at the top of the Narfu Valley at 4,200 meters. In Nar, the medical clinic will be set up. In the whole valley, there is around 700 people in 5 different villages. And so far, there was no medical help, so people had to go 2,000 meters down for 3 days on foot to get any medical help. Hopefully, with this new clinic, it will make a huge difference to the whole area. Chodden stayed behind in Chamet to supervise loading the donkeys with the medication and equipment we had brought with us from Kathmandu. This, to my surprise, is a far more skilled and tricky enterprise than I could have ever imagined. She accompanied the caravan to the clinic, while we visited all the villages in the valley. It's a hot spring. A good 40 degrees, maybe 50, quite warm. We've reached Meta at 3,600 meters. This is the aim of our trek today, first day of the 3-day ascent to the village. It's difficult to believe that there is anybody living here. There is probably about 1,500 tourists and twice as many porters and Sherpas who come here every year, who hopefully are going to be able to benefit from our clinic as well. People always ask me, why are you doing this? The answer to why I do it is because I would like to give as many people a chance to live their life with dignity as possible. I was once given a chance like this when I came to England to study medicine and then was able to work as a doctor. And this was a major turning point in my life. I'm going to Chodden's house.
Other version of this, one of them is about shadow.
हुन्छ छिपै जाउँ त न भन्छ
साथै यिनले
चाहिँ बनाइदिन्छ नुन थोडा घिउ पनि थोरै हाल्नु धेरै नै
म पत्ता नजाने
When I was little, we used to have a little kettle. You know kettle, right? We used to go to Chongkul with them and to look after them. And we go at around morning 8, 9, and then we come back again at 4 with some firewoods carrying at the back. I only remember I used to play in front of there.
I've lived for 24 years in communist Poland, and I have got many, many happy memories from there. For example, when I was only a little child, I remember having to participate in communist parades on the 1st of May, waving to all the representatives of the Red Party. There was no freedom of speech and there was no freedom of press. But from the point of view of a child, I was happy. I did not have any problems. Do you remember the time when you went down to Kathmandu with your brother?
Yeah. I was quite excited. And he came and he suddenly said, let's go to Kathmandu. And I don't know why we are going to Kathmandu.
दिप्सेमा थियो अनि त्यहाँदेखि अब चिन्ता पाएछ भने स्पोन्सर पाएछ भनेर अनि चामेदेखि काठमाडौँमा पुऱ्याउन गएको
छोरीले जिन्दा पाएर आमा बेसरी खुसी भयो मन आनन्द भयो
She said that when she got message that I got a sponsor to study, and she's very happy. And
this school has been offering free education and full care for high altitude children from the mountains of Nepal for 32 years. When children first came to my attention, it was in a photograph. A little girl, skinny little girl, standing in the mountains of Manang, arms akimbo. And when she did come to school, I scanned that photo, showed it to her on my computer and said to her, okay, I've got a machine, this is called a computer. It's got your photo in it. I can send your photo all around the world. And I can send your words. Do you want to say anything to the world? And she said, yes, all you adults out there, you educate your children, especially your girls. When I grow up, I'm going to go back to the mountains and I'm going to help my villagers with medical care.
Coming to this school was a turning point for me because if I were still in my village, having the babies and still working in the field, but this school taught me out my life, a brighter future, that I can dream something, I can imagine of something that I want to be. Before I came here, my father died because of lack of medicines, and I dream of becoming a doctor and save the life of the people over the mountain.
A bit later on, I lived through martial law in Poland when there was shortage of everything. There was no food. I remember standing in queues for bread for hours at a time. I remember tear gas being shot by the police in the main streets. And I think at that point I came to the conclusion that perhaps that's not what I really want in life. I would like to be able to have a real say in what's happening to me, to my family, to my country, to participate in everything that is happening in the world independently. And that was probably the main reason why I went to United Kingdom to study medicine.
Yeah, the first when I arrived was shocking, of course, because I have never seen big buildings and roads and all these sounds. When I came from my village, I don't have good dress. Like I was wearing a very bad old clothes and everybody is looking at me. And I look around and everybody's staring at me like, whoa, where she came from? And I was a little bit shocked because of mostly because of the road. This is the dormitory where I used to live, and we have a double bunk. I always loved to sleep out. When I came here, at the first time, obviously I was scared and afraid, and I miss my family sometimes. I used to cry. Especially I miss my mom. So what we used to do is in the kids, we write a letter to our parents, our mom, and then what we do is we stand from one room to another room. As that we are sending them. We used to play as a game, but during my time we don't have any telephone conversation. So most of the kids, we used to have a diary. When the first time when we are going back to my village after 5 years, it was a winter vacation. You know, it's very cold in mountain. Even though I wanted to go to meet them, oh, I'm really excited, and I'm like, when I first meet my mom, I didn't say anything to her because I was like nervous, nervous, and I was crying also. And my mom, she cried a lot.
Life is incredibly hard here. In the last few days of our journey, it became apparent that it must be a great challenge to survive here. But I think it must be one of the most beautiful places in the world. So we are very happy that we managed to establish the clinic, thanks to Chodan and thanks to Lama, and get the permission from the government to have the clinic here. I think that it doesn't matter whether you live here or in Kathmandu or in London. Everybody deserves the same healthcare because it's very important, because otherwise you can't lead a happy life. I'm so happy that through my knowledge of medicine I will be able to help people all over the world. It was always my dream to do so, and finally after so many years I'm able to achieve it. Jada, we did it!
Yes, we did it! So...
penne hom